The film opens at Chicago College, where a new student, Tommy Riley, begins his first day of school. His arrival quickly draws the attention of a trio of bullies, Spitz, Tidbits, and Storm, who start harassing him across the classroom. Just as the situation escalates, Teacher Higgins intervenes, restoring order by instructing Storm to remove his cap and take his seat, momentarily sparing Tommy from further trouble. Later that day, Tommy befriends a fellow student named Romano. As they chat, Storm and his streetwise associate Lexi, a known gang member, approach them, mocking Tommy and provoking a fight. Before the confrontation escalates, another group led by Abraham Lincoln steps in, questioning Lexi's presence on school grounds. A heated exchange follows, but before any punches are thrown, campus security intervenes, restraining Lexi and throws him off school property. Lincoln casts a wary glance at Tommy, sensing something different about him. On his way home, Tommy is confronted by two men who claim to be friends of his father, John Riley. They warn him to remind his father to settle an outstanding gambling debt that has grown considerably. That night, Tommy stops by a local diner where he unexpectedly runs into his classmate, Deborah. The two share a brief conversation over coffee, during which Deborah mentions that the diner is looking for a dishwasher. Grateful for the opportunity, Tommy accepts the job, hoping to earn some extra money while keeping a low profile. While taking out the trash behind the diner, Tommy is once again confronted by Lexi and his gang, who attack him in a fit of rage. A fierce fight breaks out, but it's quickly interrupted by Pappy Jack, a recruiter for the underground boxing circuit. Impressed by Tommy's raw power and precise right-hand punches, Jack approaches him and asks where he learned to fight. Tommy reveals that he's a former Golden Gloves champion who has won 6 titles. Intrigued, Jack explains the lucrative world of illegal underground fighting, suggesting it could earn Tommy far more than his dishwashing job. With his father's growing gambling debt weighing heavily on his mind, Tommy reluctantly agrees to step into the ring. Jack then informs him that his first opponent will be none other than Black Death, one of the circuit's most feared fighters. Back home, John Riley informs his son that he'll be leaving town for a while. Concerned, Tommy tells him about the men who confronted him over his gambling debt. John, filled with regret, admits his mistakes and apologizes for the choices that have brought trouble to their lives. Later that night, Tommy arrives at an underground nightclub, ready for his first match against Black Death. Pappy Jack introduces him to Hoa, his assigned cornerman, who helps him gear up for the fight. Moments before stepping into the ring, Romano shows up to support his friend, giving Tommy a quick warm-up and warning him to watch out for Black Death's devastating right-hand punch. Inside the ring, Tommy faces off against Black Death, who stands menacingly in the red corner. The first round proves brutal. Black Death dominates early, knocking Tommy down with a sharp elbow strike. Shaken but determined, Tommy rises to his feet, unleashing a flurry of punches that momentarily turns the tide. Black Death counters with a heavy combination, sending Tommy stumbling again, but Tommy's anger fuels him forward. With renewed intensity, Tommy drives his opponent into the corner, landing a relentless barrage of punches as the crowd erupts, chanting his name. As the second round begins, Tommy seizes his moment, delivering a powerful right-hand blow that sends Black Death crashing to the mat, securing Tommy's first underground victory. After the victory, Pappy Jack informs Tommy that his employer, Mr. Horn, wants to meet him personally and deliver his payment. Back at school, Romano introduces Tommy to Lincoln, who admits he witnessed Tommy's underground fight the previous night. Later, Tommy visits the gym, where Jack takes him to meet Mr. Horn. We get to know Mr. Horn is a former boxing champion. Impressed by Tommy's skill and spirit, Horn pays him his winnings and offers him a chance to fight under his management. However, Tommy refuses the offer, determined to stay out of the dangerous world Horn represents, and walks away. Jack tracks Tommy to the diner, where he watches him hand over his fight winnings to the men collecting his father's gambling debts. Realizing what's happening, Jack discreetly calls Mr. Horn to report it. Later, as Tommy talks with Mary at the restaurant, Jack arrives and insists he come along to meet Horn once again. At Horn's mansion, he shows Tommy photographs of legendary underground fighters, men who earned their glory with nothing but their bare fists. Horn then reveals his true intentions. He cannot afford to let Tommy walk away. He coldly explains that he has purchased his father, John Riley's $15,000 gambling debt, meaning Tommy now belongs to him. Cornered and with no way out, Tommy reluctantly agrees to fight for Horn to pay off the debt and protect his father. On his way home, Tommy comes across Lincoln being ambushed by Lexi and his gang. Without hesitation, Tommy jumps in, fighting off the attackers and rescuing Lincoln. The two sprint through the streets, escaping in a tense chase that ends in an abandoned warehouse. Catching their breath, Lincoln opens up, admitting he's been in trouble his entire life, and that no white boy has ever stepped in to help him before. He confides that he's a family man with a newborn baby, struggling to make ends meet. From that moment, a strong bond forms between Tommy and Lincoln. Their friendship solidified both in loyalty and respect. Together, they continue competing in the underground fighting circuit, winning match after match and earning huge profits for Mr. Horn.
Mary visits Tommy, questioning him why he has missed school for long. Tommy replies he has to fight to pay back his father's debts. At nights back in the ring, Lincoln and Tommy continue with the winning spree. Romano and Lexi face off in the fierce match, taking him to round 4. Lexi puts a chemical on the Groves, which he smears Romano on the face, making him lose his sight, getting a chance to punch him so hard. Tommy runs and hits the bell to stop the fight, but Lexi continues punching Romano until he gets unconscious. Tommy grabs him and chokes him down as he laments her next. Tommy visits Romano in the hospital and finds him on breathing machines. He learns that Romano was beaten to brain dead. The next night, Tommy faces off with Lexi. Seeing that is driven by anger, Noah cautions him to focus anger is his enemy, which is not needed in the mind game of boxing. Lexi takes his chemical, but he fails to use it on Tommy, grabs him down, pushes him to the corner in the flood of punches, winning him hands down. On the way out, Lincoln introduces him to his family and gives him a lift back home. That very night, Mary visits him, and the two make love. In the morning at the gym, while exercising, Lincoln collapses to the floor. The doctor checks him and recommends he takes 60 days off boxing since he is kicked in the head during the previous match and got a bleed in the blood vessel. On his shock, Tommy is told that he's supposed to fight Lincoln in the next match, but he insists he wouldn't fight him since the doctor gave him a leave of 60 days and he could die if he's hit in the head. Horn insists he has to fight Lincoln such that he can make more money. Jack convinces him to fight Lincoln and walk away with #2 million, but he remains unconvinced. Tommy's girlfriend Mary comes to watch the fight. Undefeated Tommy enters the ring in the blue corner, but he doesn't punch back to Lincoln, dodging his punches and hitting him only in Barry, not on the head. Holding him in the corner, avoiding to hit him in the head. Horn intimidates to harm Mary, but Tommy remains hesitant to hit Lincoln in the head as Lincoln throws more punches to him. Trying to convince Lincoln to stop the fight, Lincoln only hits him harder. Tommy hesitates to fight him back, telling him to take him down if he's more interested in money than friendship. Thinking about it, Lincoln hesitates and leaves the ring. Refusing to go back to the ring, Horn hits him so hard, making him unconscious. As Mr. orders for the refund of spectators, Tommy demands to fight him right away. Horn puts a condition: if he wins, he takes him freedom, but if he loses, he owns him forever, and Tommy agrees. Jimmy Horn decides to fight Bare Knuckles. As the fight commences, Jimmy provokes Tommy to take the fight short, making him to hit the top of the head, weakening him, flooding him with blows, punching him out of the ring. Back on his feet, Tommy provokes Horn to making him hit the top of the head, breaking him middle finger. Using one hand, he breaks him nose too. Driven by anger, Horn falls in Tommy's trap, making him hit him so hard to the ground with a right hand knockout. Tommy wins his freedom back, making Noah so happy as the crowd cheers his name. Tommy and Lincoln reconcile. Thanks for watching.